Certain denominations of Christianity believe that certain artifacts have special properties and abilities due to some sort of connection with God. The most well-known examples of this are the Holy Grail, the fragment of the True Cross, and the Spear of Longinus. A common characteristic of these examples is that they're objects that Jesus interacted with when he was about to die, and are second-class relics. But according to some churches, there's an artifact with a much more direct connection to Big J. An actual piece of the man himself, a first-class relic. Now those of you who are familiar with Christian dogma may find this a little strange, since according to the Bible, he ascended to heaven leaving no physical body behind. Was it some hair trimmings, some toenail clippings? Perhaps a stray pube? No, my friend, you see, Jesus was Jewish, and as such would have been circumcised as a wee babe. The artifact I'm referring to is nothing short of the foreskin of Christ. The holy foreskin, or holy prepuce, is the sliced-off sliver of the willy that was removed from the infant Jesus during his circumcision. The Bible itself mentions Jesus' circumcision in Luke 2:21, stating that he was circumcised on his 8th day in accordance with Jewish customs. Another reference to the circumcision comes from the Arabic Infancy Gospel, which has manuscripts dating back to 1299 and was possibly translated from a Syriac version written around the 6th century. It also states Jesus was circumcised on his 8th day, but it also claims that an old woman took it and preserved it inside a box filled with preserving oils. The woman warned her son that he should never sell the box, no matter how high the offer. Which is one hell of an inheritance. John gets the house, Elijah gets the livestock, and you, my favorite son, get the dick in a box. One notable instance of the holy foreskin is its gifting to Pope Leo III by Charlemagne upon being crowned Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire in 800 AD. He most likely got this relic from the Byzantine Empress Irene, though instead of admitting that he got some good dick from a woman, Charlemagne said that the foreskin was handed to him by an angel while praying at the Holy Sepulchre. Eventually, the foreskin was taken in the sacking of Rome in 1527 by German Protestants. That sounds like something absolutely insane to grab as loot during a raid, but in this random German looter's defense, the foreskin at this time was held in a golden vessel. He didn't just take a look at some centuries-old piece of flesh and think, "Oh, this ought to be a tasty snack for the trip home." The foreskin was later recovered and housed in Kolkata, Italy, until its disappearance in 1983. At the time of its disappearance, the supposed piece of the body of Christ was housed in a shoebox underneath a priest's bed. It has not been found since, and it is theorized that the Vatican may have had something to do with its disappearance. Most likely in an attempt to get people to shut up about Jesus' penis. This is just one of the relics that have been purported as the foreskin of Christ. There were churches all across Europe that had various competing claims that they were in fact the bearers of the one true foreskin. This immense competition to claim hold of the one true foreskin came in part from the fact that a church would stand to gain significantly from bearing such an important relic. Holy relics bring pilgrims, and pilgrims give donations. And as Jesus himself once said, "Get rich or die trying." Many enterprising individuals began peddling relics of questionable authenticity to meet this high demand. And as long as you managed to sell your counterfeits for higher than the cost of an indulgence, you could make bank and get into heaven. Many of these supposed holy prepuces got destroyed in the times of unrest during the French Revolution. Several saints have claimed to have visions and interactions with the holy prepuce as well. Saint Catherine of Siena experienced a mythical marriage with Jesus, and that the ring he gave her was his foreskin. Saint Bridget of Sweden claimed to have received pieces of Jesus' foreskin on her tongue, and that it had a sweetness that surpassed all other sweetness. Then there is Agnes Blaniken, who claims to have repeatedly swallowed pieces of Jesus' foreskin 100 times over. It was sweet and filled her with joy and gave her the revelation that the foreskin had resurrected with Jesus. Yeah, there is a lot to unpack here, and I'm not really even gonna try. The foreskin of Christ isn't the only first-class relic of Jesus. There have been claims of possession of his tears, blood, hair, toenail clippings, and even teeth. What makes the Prepuce so unique is that it is a supposed piece of his own flesh, with the only other piece of his flesh being chunks of his umbilical cord. As previously stated, Christian dogma states that Jesus ascended to heaven after resurrecting from the dead. The Bible doesn't mention him missing anything else, so he probably didn't have any unfortunate woodworking accidents during his carpentry days. He presumably would have ascended to heaven with all of his other bits. As such, any claims to something such as his heart would have been heresy, since it would imply a denial of the ascension of Christ. And as we know, in the long history of Christianity, no one has ever gone to absurd extremes over differences in doctrine. The supposed powers of the holy foreskin include causing freak storms, being able to cure the blind by being rubbed on their eyelids, curing infertility, and causing painless childbirth. Personally, I think the best way to use its sacred power would be to use it like the hand or eye of Vecna, where you have to cut that body part off and stick it in its place.